Swoopes hadn't shied away from speaking her mind, as last season she raised questions about the legitimacy of Indiana Fever stars Caitlin Clark's collegiate scoring record. Oh, I bet Sheryl Swoopes hates her.
Just moments ago, the Indiana Fever made a move that's now setting the entire WNBA on fire.
And you have a black player that just got cut, and Sheryl Swoopes is not happy about that.
But they did keep Jaylen Brown. That does make me wonder, why not cut Jaylen Brown in this round if she still wasn't in consideration?
The reality of it is they are most likely going to have to make another cut. It is most likely going to be Brown.
And Sheryl Swoopes is in mid-season hateration form. They're not only go after Caitlin Clark this year, they're going to go after Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull.
A young black player cut from the roster, and almost instantly, WNBA legend Sheryl Swoopes launched into a scathing attack. But this wasn't just about a roster decision, it was personal.
So the Indiana Fever, as expected, have waived Yvonne Ejim. She's just not at the level that the Indiana Fever are hoping her to be at.
The Fever announced it directly. Thank you, Yvonne Ejim, who was the all-time leading scorer in Gonzaga history.
She didn't just question the coaching staff. She went straight for Caitlin Clark and her teammates, hinting at favoritism, racial bias, and something even deeper. This isn't just a basketball story anymore. It's about power, identity, and a league being torn between the old guard and the new generation. And right in the center of it all, Caitlin Clark.
I thought we were going to get through a season without hearing anything stupid out of Sheryl Swoopes' mouth. We saw Sheryl Swoopes in rare form hating on Caitlin Clark all last year. Maybe she has figured out, well, hating on Clark, that's not really a great idea. What other white girls can I tune up from the Indiana Fever? She's criticizing Stephanie White.
Rising, dominating, and drawing fire from every direction. What just happened has blown the doors wide open. And trust me, this changes everything.
Bree Hall is now gone, as you know. And today it was announced that Yvonne Ejim has been waived by the Fever as well. Sophie Cunningham talked about that yesterday, saying you can latch on to another team, another place.
Just because you didn't make a roster doesn't mean you're out of the W forever.
The Indiana Fever's decision to release rookie guard Temi Fagbenle has sparked outrage across the league, but not for the usual reasons. While teams regularly make roster cuts during preseason, this move lit a match in an already tense environment.
I don't think it's a coincidence that it took a little bit longer to cut Ejim. They obviously liked what they saw from her, but there's only so many players they can carry.
Especially with Caitlin Clark's skyrocketing popularity becoming a lightning rod for controversy. The cut wasn't just seen as a basketball move, it became a symbol, a flashpoint, and within hours, accusations of racial bias flooded social media. And then, WNBA legend Sheryl Swoopes stepped into the fire.
But the fact that Brown is still around is interesting to me. And she didn't shoot that well in one of the games the other day, but that energy she brought on the floor was palpable. It was noticeable.
In a series of sharp, pointed remarks, Swoopes didn't hold back. She questioned not only the Fever's roster decisions, but specifically called out the attention surrounding Caitlin Clark.
I'm not seeing Bree Turner being the Bree Turner that I wanted her to be. Bree Turner is a rim runner, so we all kind of thought that she was a lock, and she was in that gym practicing every day with the Indiana Fever, which was a good sign.
Her comments weren't subtle. She implied that Clark's presence is overshadowing other players, especially black athletes, and hinted that some of them are being pushed aside to make space for the new face of the league.
You played basketball, Sheryl Swoopes? I don't understand.
Swoopes didn't name names directly, but the implication was crystal clear. The league is shifting its energy, resources, and visibility in one direction, and it's not going unnoticed by the veterans who built the foundation. But here's what's fueling the fire even more.
Swoopes appeared on the latest episode of the Women's Hoop Show, where she discussed the topics around the WNBA, including the Indiana Fever's latest move, cutting rookie guard Bree Hall. Swoopes questioned Fever head coach Stephanie White's decision to give veterans like Lexi Hull and Sophie Cunningham minutes over Bree Hall and then cut her without giving her a fair opportunity to prove herself.
Caitlin Clark didn't ask for this. She didn't lobby for special treatment. She didn't make the roster decisions. She's just been showing up, putting in the work, and performing at a level that demands attention.
She's my role model. I really look up to her, Why do you like Caitlin?
She's so good at basketball.
Because she's that awesome person and she has like a lot of aura, so like.
The problem? Her rise is happening so fast and so loudly that it's disrupting the old guard. Players who once commanded headlines are now struggling to get coverage. Legacy names are being challenged by a newcomer with both the game and the following to redefine the league's future.
In the first preseason game against Washington Mystics, Hall didn't see the court at all. Quote, even though the starters weren't in, like Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull, they've been in the league for a while. You actually had players like Bree Hall. Why wasn't she in that game, per se? If you are still trying to figure out who's going to make the team, who you're going to cut. So I'm a little confused with what Steph White was doing.
And so when the Fever made this roster cut, it didn't feel like just another adjustment. It felt like a tipping point, a talented black player removed from the equation, a white rookie becoming the focal point of media and fan attention, and a Hall of Famer speaking out publicly, connecting those dots in a way that exploded across the internet.
The biggest thing about this team, other WNBA teams are not going to be able to guard Caitlin Clark in the same way that they did during her rookie season because you have so many assets on the court now. You are not going to be able to trap Caitlin Clark because there are so many other threats on the floor.
What should have been a quiet preseason move has now become a national debate about race, privilege, and power in women's basketball. And Caitlin Clark is caught right in the middle of it.
1.3 million viewers on the TV rating for Caitlin Clark's preseason debut against Brazil in a blowout, sold out in front of 15,000 fans at $670 a ticket. She is the needle.
Caitlin Clark returned to Iowa yesterday. It looked like the entire state of Iowa shut down. This is what the drawing power of a real star looks like.
As the backlash intensified, the conversation shifted from a simple roster cut to a much broader and far more heated debate. Is Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise unintentionally costing black players their place and recognition in the league? Social media users, journalists, and former athletes jumped into the fray.
Michaela Simpson is obviously at a certain level. She's a rim runner. She just obviously has a higher ceiling than Ejim at the moment. And this is maybe a hot take.
Some defended the Fever's decision, pointing out that preseason cuts are routine and based on performance and team fit. But others weren't buying it. They pointed out that Temi Fagbenle had Olympic-level experience, international success, and undeniable talent. So why was she the one let go?
Man, it's hard, right? We all reached out. I think that they brought really good people in, great people into training camp this year. But, just because you didn't make this squad, this is probably one of the harder rosters to make in the W this year. It doesn't mean you're out of the W. And you just got to keep ready, keep playing, keep grinding it out. And if it's hard to make the league. I know Sid and I, we were second rounders. We stuck. Her experience is a little bit different than mine. But just because you didn't make a roster doesn't mean you're out of the W forever.
Then came the hard questions. Was the organization restructuring to build solely around Clark's style and brand? Is the WNBA subtly shifting toward a commercial strategy that centers white athletes for mass market appeal while sidelining the players of color who've carried the league for years?
Kelsey Mitchell fractured her left middle finger, her shooting hand, while she was playing in China in the offseason, and says it is now healing on its own, which means it isn't all the way healed.
These aren't easy questions, but they're being asked loudly. And when Sheryl Swoopes, a pioneer and former MVP, essentially suggests that Clark's presence is shifting the balance of fairness and visibility, it forces everyone to stop and take a second look.
Washington Mystics Atlanta Dream game, and Sonia Citron, while chasing down Alicia Gray, running to the rim, does not see Brittany Griner set a screen, and kind of reminded me of the welcome to the league moment that Caitlin Clark had when she just ricocheted off of that Brianna Stewart screen. Now, Brittany Griner immediately held her hand out to help the rook up, but Sonia Citron needed a minute as she was totally winded. Actually, this is what she said afterwards. She hit me right in the ribs, so it was like sharp pains, but I couldn't breathe.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark has said nothing publicly, and perhaps that's the smartest move she can make right now. She didn't create the system. She didn't choose who gets cut. And yet her name is being dragged through a controversy rooted in deeper issues the WNBA has wrestled with for decades.
And Caitlin mentioned that once again.
What is possible for this group this year?
Yeah, a championship. That's our goal. And I think working every single day.
But while others argue online, Clark is doing what she always does, staying focused, staying composed, and letting her game do the talking. Every time she steps on the court, she's proving she's not just a media favorite, she's the real deal. Still, the pressure is building, and even silence starts to feel like a stance when the spotlight is this hot.
So there were 14,998 people in attendance for this game. Average reported ticket price was $650. That is almost $9.75 million just for a WNBA preseason game.
Now, the league finds itself in uncharted territory. Caitlin Clark is undeniably the most talked about name in women's basketball, but that attention comes with a cost, and the WNBA is learning that in real time. For every sold-out arena and viral highlight, there's a growing sense of unease among longtime players and fans who feel that others are being pushed into the background.
This team is going to break so many records this year: attendance, viewership, merch sales, all of the things.
This was a preseason WNBA game. It is unbelievable what it is Caitlin Clark does.
Whenever Caitlin Clark takes the floor, that maybe is different not only from any player in the WNBA, but from any player in basketball.
The removal of a black player like Temi Fagbenle, followed immediately by the league doubling down on Clark-centric promotions, has added fuel to a conversation that was already simmering beneath the surface.
She hits her signature logo 3 from 36 feet, actually behind her signature logo that was on the court.
I didn't plan to shoot that logo 3. I know coming into the game, everybody wanted me to shoot one from there. But Steph was like, was supposed to come out at the end of the third, so she's like, give a foul, give a foul, give a foul. And then it was 30 seconds on the clock, which like between 30 to 33, that's like your 2-for-1 range where you have to get one up. So I saw 30 as we're inbounding the ball, which probably is inbounding the ball at 30, probably a little low. But I was like, why not?
What makes this moment so explosive is that it touches every layer of the sport: race, legacy, branding, and generational change. Players like Sheryl Swoopes aren't just venting frustration, they're ringing alarm bells. To them, this isn't about jealousy or rivalry. It's about fairness, representation, and history being respected. And while Caitlin Clark has never disrespected the legends who came before her, the system now promoting her is being accused of doing just that.
People were so excited for this game for many reasons, but the main one being that Caitlin Clark would be returning to Iowa to play at Carver Hawkeye Arena. The Brazilian national team, even though they lost by that much, it still seemed like they had a great time. Caitlin was signing their jerseys after the game. They were taking photos with her.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
This situation isn't slowing down. It's gaining speed. The decisions being made now by teams, sponsors, and league executives will echo throughout the season. And with Caitlin Clark caught in the center of it all, her every move, or silence, will be watched closer than ever. The Indiana Fever may have made a routine roster move on paper, but what followed has revealed a much deeper tension within the WNBA, one that's been simmering for years and just boiled over.
This game beat NHL playoff ratings. A WNBA game, a preseason WNBA game, not only beat those ratings, destroyed them. More watched than any NBA preseason game since 2018, all but 2 NBA preseason games since 2010.
With the removal of a black player and the meteoric rise of Caitlin Clark, the conversation is no longer just about basketball. It's about power, identity, and who gets to represent the future of the league. While Caitlin Clark continues to lead with performance and poise, voices like Sheryl Swoopes are making sure the past isn't erased in the process. One thing is certain: the spotlight is now bigger, brighter, and far more intense. And this season, it's not just about winning games, it's about who controls the narrative.
you know, for whatever reason, they decide to get themselves involved, whether it is actually malintent or maybe they just want to get themselves in the headline. A lot of players got the spotlight this season because of Caitlin Clark, not to mention just overall, Caitlin Clark brought millions, literally, more eyeballs to the league this season.
Pretty exciting. One of the big reasons fans flock to State Farm Arena is, of course, the Caitlin Clark effect.
The best player in America, the best shooter in America. Watch her play. She plays at a high level.
She's going to break records nonstop for the next couple of years.
She's the only one capable of taking nothing and making it something. The WNBA was nothing before Caitlin Clark.
Most points by a point guard in a season in WNBA history. Most double-doubles by a rookie guard in WNBA history. Most points by a rookie in WNBA history. Most assists by a rookie in the history of the WNBA. First WNBA rookie to record 2 triple-doubles. First triple-double by a rookie in WNBA history. First triple-double in Fever history. The first player to be named WNBA Player of the Month and Rookie of the Month in the same month. First player in WNBA history with 20 or more points, 15 or more assists, and 5 or more rebounds in a game.
I think that experiencing it, I love Caitlin Clark fans, but Caitlin Clark fans is different. They like C-Square, shout out to the gang, like different. They are very passionate people and like they gonna ride or die. Like
listen, Caitlin Clark is a god to her friends. She does no wrong. Do not play. Do not play with her fans.
Just to say C-Square, I'm happy I'm on the right end of it.
We on the right end of the stick, baby, because they
hate to be.
Listen,
because
they love us right now. But if we go right left, it's over for us.
Yeah. Caitlin Clark fans, I love you back. I promise. Please stop.
Yeah.
Like her fan, but like the one thing I would say about Caitlin Clark fans that I can't appreciate, they'll go anywhere she go.
Oh, they gonna travel. She gonna travel.
And
right there, right there with her.
Like it's super dope though because it's like they will literally go anywhere she go, and so she's built that kind of platform. I'm like, damn, that's lit.